how are you? So today we are going to make that top that you always requested for. So this is our fabric. I am taking a stretchy satin fabric. Now this is only one way stretch, so you can see that let me show you. So it doesn't stretch this way, but it only stretches this way. So this is a one way or one side stretchy satin. Okay, so let's get started to it. This is the fabric that I got from another dress that I was making. So this is some leftover fabric, and we can make a top out of it. So I'm just going to fold it, and next thing that we are going to do is we are going to place the patterns. Now these patterns are from the princess cut masterclass that I have. So trust me, I have made these like one time, and then I have been using it in all my blouses or crop tops that I make, and it's the perfect fit. So that like really saves me a lot of time of measuring and drafting the patterns. So that is where it helps. You can just make it once, and it'll just help you a lot. All right, so I am trying to get the stretch horizontally so that I won't have to put a zipper in. I mean, वो stretch से ही अंदर चला जाएगा, so we don't have to have a zipper in place if it is a stretch fabric. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do, we don't have much fabric, so we will have to optimize it a little bit. So I am just trying to place it as optimally as I can, and the stretch will be able to cover that. All right, so the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to mark these pieces out. Now it always helps me to mark the pieces first and then cut it out. If you are comfortable with just placing the patterns over the fabric and then cutting it out, you can do, whatever you're comfortable with. So I always mark it, and this is like a no bleed marker, and I'm just going to mark it, and then we are going to cut it out. So for the neck part, I have decided to increase the neckline a little bit so that it is a little bit tighter in the neck and it covers a bit more. So that's why I am just putting the neckline a little bit higher up. Alright, so after cutting, we have two side pieces and one front centerpiece. So this is how it looks. Next, we are going to do the same things with the back pattern. So we are going to fold our fabric into two, and then we are going to get the back pattern out. Now, when you when you place the pattern on the fold, when you're folding the fabric and you cut it, then you get one piece. Now you can very easily get two pieces if you just slit it from the middle, and then you can place a zipper if your fabric is non-stretch. But since this is a stretch fabric, we don't need to place any zipper anywhere, so that's why I am going with one whole back pattern. So after cutting all the pieces, we are going to stitch all of them together. So the two sides to the front center, and then that whole set to the back. Really apologize, I do not have the stitching video, but so this is how the back looks, and then this is how it looks after we have stitched. I have just kept like one side open to demonstrate how to do the sleeves. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to measure the whole armhole that we have. And you can do it like this, or otherwise you can also do it after you have stitched the shoulders. So let me do that one as well. So we are going, it's about 18 inches, and let us see how much it is here. So you just have to start from one point, and then you're going to go round with your measuring tape like this, and just get back to the starting point from where you started. So this is also around 18 and a half inches. So we are going to take this 18 inches and add some seam allowance, so like 0.5 inches. And so that tells us that the wave that we create for the sleeves, it cannot be less than this 18 and a half inches. um so I have already folded this fabric once, and I am going to fold it once again. So we need two sleeves. I have already folded it once, and this fabric is kind of in between satin and organza. So it has the shine of a satin, but it has the feel of an organza. And it is very good for cutting. It's like butter. It cuts so well. But unfortunately I don't know the exact name of the fabric, but it is definitely somewhere between a satin and an organza. So now what we have done is we have folded the fabric, and then we are going to measure how much ever fabric we have. So for this one I am not going with a draft or anything. For everything I actually go with all the fabric that I have. So next what I'm going to do is I am just going to create a freehand wave. So I'm not measuring anything, I'm just making sure that I have the minimum, that 18 and a half inch that we wanted, that we have. So half of that. So next we are just going to cut it out. So just drawing a freehand wave, and then I am going to cut it out. For the length also I did not measure anything as such. I am just going to use all the fabric that I have, because we want to create that kind of volume and that drama. So this is one sleeve that we have, and we have one more sleeve on the bottom because we folded it once before. So if this was like a regular sleeve, I would narrow down the bottom part which goes to your hand. But for this one, at this point I was not really sure, so I just kept it like this. And then I would see what we want to do with it at the end. So yeah, so what we are going to do is we are going to stitch these two ends together. So yeah, so we are going to take these two ends, and then we are going to stitch those from top to bottom. And after that it'll be like a tube. Okay, so after that we are just going to attach whatever we have, the wave thing, onto our top, onto the armhole of our top. All right, so let me show you. So this is one sleeve that we have, and the other sleeve is just beneath the fold, so we are going to cut that. So yeah, so this is the other sleeve, and we are just going to split them apart. And yeah, let's do that. All right, so as I said, I did not kind of measure much or go with a draft for the sleeve. I just wanted to have as much volume as I can, and also I always try to use as much fabric as I have, so that we don't have to waste any fabric. I don't like wasting fabric, it's already expensive, right? Okay, yes, so these are the two sleeves we have. We are just going to join the two ends together so that it becomes like a tube. All right, so yeah, you can imagine like how sleeves are. You join the two sides together and it'll be like a tube. So let's see how the sleeve turned out. So yeah, I have kind of joined the two sides together, these two sides from the top to bottom, and yeah, this is how it looks. And again, I apologize, I don't have the stitching video. I did not know that we are going to do this. Okay, so one trick that I have for joining the sleeve to the top or armhole is to invert the top inside out, and then we are going to place the sleeves with the right side. So स्लीव्स को हमने सीधा कर लिया है, टॉप को हमने उल्टा कर लिया है, and then we are going to put the sleeve inside through the armhole. Alright, so let's just put it inside the top through the armhole. So this will make sure that the right side of the sleeve and the top, they are together, and we are going to stitch on the inside of the top. Okay, so one thing that I do is, so from the bottom where we join the two sides of the sleeve, that one we are going to join where we join the front and the back of the top. So just pin it there, and as you can see, there is like a lot of volume in the sleeve. So what we are going to do is we are going to create box pleats. So where the wave kind of starts, we are going to kind of pin it or start from there, and that is going at the shoulder where the front and the back of the shoulder meet. So we are going to create our first box pleat there, and then from there we are going to uniformly distribute the pleat on both the sides. So first, pinning the bottom and then the top, it will just make sure that you have your whole sleeve in place, and then you are uniformly distributing the rest of the fabric. Because when we are making a voluminous sleeve like this, it is very easy to get messed up because there is just so much volume, right? So that's why I always just distribute it into half and half and then just go after it. Yeah, so whatever rest is there, I am just going to pin it, maybe box pleats or knife pleats, whatever you want. I'm going to pin it onto the rest of the sleeves with whatever fabric is left. You can keep playing with the pleats and adjusting it until you're happy with it, and then we are just going to sew this together, and we are just going to use a straight stitch to sew them together. One other tip that I can give you, these is that these fabrics are very kind of fray. So what I do is, if you have a serger, then it's great, you can just interlock the things together. But if you do not have that, I always do a zigzag stitch before, so that there is no fraying happening. So this is how it looks right now, and then we are just going to do a straight stitch. Let's see how it turned out after stitching the sleeve onto the top. Alright, so this is how it looks. These are the box pleats that we gave on the inside. This is how it has come out. And yeah, so it looks pretty voluminous at the top, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And then now we are, for the smoking part, we are just going to pinch, and we are going to stitch it together. And also we are going to do the same thing, the exact same thing on the other sleeve as well for the bishop part, and I will show you how to do that. So again, I am going to do this exact same pleat on the other side as well, and then we are going to do one smocked and one bishop. So let's do that. Starting with the bishop sleeve, so first I'm going to make the cuffs. For that, I am just going to measure my wrist, and this should be a little bit tight, so that where the flow ends, at that part it should be tight to make that dramatic flow. So this is what I have. I have 6.5 to 7 inches. I'm going to add some seam allowance to it. So let's say so we are going to make two of these, so just double those 6.5, so that's 13. And then I am just adding 2.5 inches and 2.5 inches for the seam allowance. And yeah, So just make the rectangle that the length can be anything. I am just again going to use as much fabric as I can, just so that I don't waste much fabric. So I am going to make these two cuffs, and then I am going to stitch them to the sleeve that we just created. So after you have this rectangle, let's split it into two. So one for the right hand and one for the left hand. So obviously at this point I didn't know that I will be keeping one as a smock sleeve. So I just prepared like both the cuffs together. So that if I want to change it to both to bishop, I will have it already. So next I am going to fold it like this, so that there is a stronger grip. So this is how it should look, and then we are just going to stitch this like this and then invert it inside out, so that we have the neat hem outside on the outside. So we are just going to stitch it like this and invert inside out. So this is I have after I have stitched the cuff. And now what we are going to do is, this is our sleeve that we just made, exact replica of the other side. And so as you can see, it has pleats on the shoulder, and this is the lower part that we have. So what I'm going to do is, we are going to put the right sides together of the sleeve and the cuff, and then I am going to pleat the whole sleeve onto that cuff. So again, depends on how much fabric you have. I just use all the fabric that I have, so not much measurements I took at that part, so just using all the fabric that I have. And I am just going to pleat the whole sleeve onto the cuff, something like this. So yeah, keep playing with it, keep adjusting it until you are happy. And you can also keep a slight opening, or you can make the cuff a little loose, how much ever you like. So however you like it, let's do that. So I am going to pleat it again until I'm happy with it, and then I am just going to run a straight stitch through it. This is how it turned out after I stitched the sleeve onto the cuff, so nicely pleated. Next I'm going to place a hook at the end of the cuff, so it's nicely kind of locked in your wrist. So this is how it looks on the top. So drama on the top, drama at the bottom. For the sleeve that I created, I have kept the length at the bottom of the sleeve same, but this is what you can do as well. So just short at one point and long at the other, and this will make sure that you get that high-low effect of the bishop sleeve. So you can do this cut as well at the bottom. Moving on to the smocked sleeve. So this is the kind of smocking that I have created. I actually kind of went crazy with it. Whatever I wanted to do, I just started doing it. So I just created kind of a zigzag effect, but there are many thousands of designs actually on the internet that you can look, and you can just select whatever you want. So I went for a messy zigzag kind of a smocking. So what I did was create like a zigzag pattern, so one up and one below. So this is like the down one that I am creating. So I just pinched some fabric, put the needle through it, locked that, and then going on to the high point, and then just doing the same thing. And I'm pulling the thread so that there is a little bit of fabric that gathers in between the 2 points, and it gives that kind of smocking effect. So I am just doing the same thing, creating one up and one low kind of a zigzag, and you can do any design you like. Also, you can go to any length that you want. I have just kept it on the upper side of the arm. So this is how it looks after I have stitched it. So I narrowed it down at the bottom, so it is fluffy on the top and tight or narrow at the bottom. So yeah, this is how it looks, and now I will show you some results that you have already seen on Instagram. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, if you're trying it out, let me know how it goes. Thank you. Bye.